Hi, I'm Elizabeth Gearhart. I'm here with James Klobucar, Senior Associate at Gearhart Law. And one of the frequently asked questions we get from clients is, how do your fees work? So James, how do they work?
Well, that's a good question.
Or do they work?
They do work.
Well, that's good.
We try to work off of a flat fee basis as much as we can. I think that mitigates, surprises for the clients. We do work off hourly, rates at times, but we always discuss that with clients in terms of, the project and the expectations so we can manage those. We offer flat fees for, certain projects. So for example, let's say that a particular individual has an invention that they want to patent. We would get the full invention disclosure from them, and then we would do a patentability or a patent clearance search. And that search, including the report, including providing the relevant art found in the search to the client, would be a singular flat fee. So the client knows that, hey, we're going to do a search. I pay for the search. You do everything associated with the search. I pay one fee. Easy peasy. If we then say, okay, the search turned out favorable and we're going to move forward into the patent application phase, we would say, okay, well, for a patent application, you have to have drawings, right? You pay for fee for the drawings, you pay a government fee, and you pay our fee for the application. But the government fee is a fixed fee based on your entity status. The drawing fee, again, is a fixed fee, and we give you an estimate for your approval. And then, again, the application fee is another fixed fee. So when we give those fees to the client and say, okay, well, here they are. They know the three fees that they're paying for. They know what needs to happen in order to, get the application through to completion.
But then sometimes there's, for one project, so I think you kind of brought that up, there can be multiple flat fees.
Yeah,
So when you say
definitely.
Yeah, so when you say flat fee, you don't mean just one flat fee. So for instance, with the patent, I think sometimes where people get confused is then we charge another flat fee for the information disclosure statement.
Right. We spell all of that out in the engagement letter, for them. So they do have all of that when they sign up with us. But yeah, just because we say flat fee doesn't mean the search fee is going to take you all the way through getting a patent in the end, right?
Right.
Obviously, there's multiple flat fees along the way for certain segments. Otherwise, they would be paying, upfront a very large amount that, at the end of the day may or may not be practical.
Right. And so the whole idea behind the flat fees, I think, is okay, these are the 5 flat fees that go into your project.
Right.
This is what you can expect to spend. And there might be a couple hourly fees here and there if there's extra special stuff that we have to do. But this is kind of what you can use to kind of do a budget for this, right?
Exactly.
And so it doesn't mean there's just going to be one flat fee per project. There are multiple flat fees for different aspects of the project.
Right, correct.
What you don't get is, okay, so we think the search is going to cost $1,000. And then we come back to you and say, well, we thought we were going to spend so much time, it was going to cost $1,000. But we actually spent a lot more time, and now we want $2,000 from you for this search. We don't do that.
Right, that doesn't happen. You pay for the search up front, and the search and the fee that you pay up front is the fee for the search. I mean, it's that easy.
What do we charge for a search these days?
It's going to depend on complexity. You're
Right.
probably in the range of $790 to $1,200.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors that goes into things. So two people might come to us for patents, but one is a very straightforward project, so that's going to be a lower flat fee, and one is incredibly complex, so that's going to be a higher flat fee. So two different people at the same firm with two different projects can be paying different flat fees.
Correct, and we work each of those out with the client on an individual basis based on complexity, needs, etc.
Like a consumer patent. What's a typical soup to nuts from the minute they walk in our door till when they get the ribbon copy, hard copy patent in their hand?
Accounting for our fees, third-party fees such as drawing fees, government fees. Once you account for all of those over, the life cycle from information or invention disclosure to patent in hand, typically you're going to be right around $10,000 to $12,000
over 3 years, right?
Yeah, typically it's going to be over 3 years. Probably about half of the cost is really upfront with the application. Then there's a big kind of lull in the middle, and then a couple years down the road, most of the rest of the cost is incurred Once we start receiving office actions or substantive reviews from the patent office, we pay issue fees and things like that. And that's where most of the other, associated cost comes in.
Right. And with the office actions from the patent office, what that is the application is an application. And so they come back 99.9% of the time and say, you can't have a patent on this because of this, this, and this. That's where you need a good lawyer too. And so then the lawyer looks at it and goes, oh, yes, we can. You're wrong because of this, this, and this. And that's called an office action. That's the response to the office action.
Right.
Years ago, we would charge hourly for that. And so it was frustrating for the clients because they weren't really sure how much that was going to cost. Now that's all flat fee too.
Correct.
Right? And so that makes your life really much easier because you know what you're going to have to pay for per office action, and you can know how far you want to take it.
Right. And it breaks up the process into chunks, and each chunk costs a certain amount. They can stop at any time, right? So if for some reason the project doesn't work out for them or come to fruition, or they, unfortunately run out of, money, or their budget doesn't support it, they're only liable for the work they've asked us to do to date. So if they've gotten past one area and something else arises and they say, it's not for me anymore, then, unfortunately, that's their decision.
But if it comes time to pay the issue fee, that means
you should do that.
You should do that. That means you have your patent.
I can think of one instance where someone decided they didn't want to pay the issue fee. After all that time, money, and effort.
And the patent office said you can have the patent.
Said you could have the patent. They said, well, I don't want to pay that issue fee. So
and it's a government fee.
Again, it's their decision, but a patent is a right to exclude others from making, using, or selling. It's not a benefit conferred onto you. So in my opinion, if you're going to take all that time and effort to get it, you'd might as well pay the issue fee, because in the event that, let's say, someone else comes along and starts, essentially making what your invention is, you can still enforce that patent against them, assuming, it's still in force. So,
right, and maybe you make them take a license and you actually make some money off it even.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So we do charge flat fees. Every once in a while we'll do an hourly fee. In certain types of projects we do hourly fees. Those are the more complex ones. So thank you, James. I think that was a very good explanation of flat fees.
Absolutely.
And if you have an idea for an invention, you can call James or email him.
Absolutely.